At some point, I had taken a knife and I wanted to kill myself because the voices were trying to control me. Take this child out of your life. They're living with ourselves. They want to take advantage of you, like use phones. These are people who are struggling maybe with some sexual things. So they want to take a spoon and maybe insert it in you, and maybe you are living with your uncles. They want to take advantage of you sexually. So you find these things, they cause trauma in a child's life. A few people that I shared with, some could not understand the journey. Some saw that it's like I'm joking with life, I'm not serious with life.
And if someone is at a point whereby they want to commit suicide, like what really happens? Like in your case, you've told me that there was a time that you felt like you wanted to commit suicide. What happened that you are not able to commit it?
This is the scale of truth with Gaudencia Maghanga.
Hello and welcome to the Scale of Truth with Gaudencia Maghanga. I'm so happy and glad to have you here today. Feel at home and feel welcome. If this is your first time clicking or coming across our YouTube channel, kindly subscribe, and also don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you will get more and more notifications whenever we upload our content. So today I am here with an amazing woman of God. Her name is Lydiah. I'll give an opportunity to introduce herself, but of course just a little bit of a glimpse of who she is. She's a gospel music minister. She has released so many songs out here, and if you go to her YouTube channel, you'll be able to be blessed as you listen to them. And she's my sister, a friend as well. But apart from that, she's here to share with us her journey about depression. That is what we are going to talk about today on the Scale of Truth. I know that many people have faced depression either once, twice, or even in depression right now as you are watching this video. And depression has been a monster in our society that has taken many lives, many young lives for that matter. It has made many people to lose their jobs or to lose even their careers. It is a monster that needs to be dealt with. But how do you go about it? Because many people are fearful to speak out. Many people don't know what the society will have to say if they come out and declare or they say that they have depression. And even some of the people do not have the finances to go through the right channels whereby they can also be able to get medication or therapy. So our sister here will share with us her journey, her experience about depression, and how she was able to overcome it, or if she has not overcome it, and if she's on the journey of overcoming it, how has she been able to make it through until this moment. Kindly stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe and like on our video, and I believe that you'll be blessed at the end of this all conversation, and you'll be able to get a thing or two from this beautiful conversation. Thank you so much. Hello, Lydiah.
Hello, Gaudencia.
Yeah, it's good to see you here today.
Good to see you too.
It's been a very long time actually since we last saw each other. I think 1 or 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Huh?
I'll start by saying thank you for having me here.
Okay.
And I'm happy to see you.
I'm happy to see you too.
After such a long time.
True. Feel at home, feel welcome. And before we go so much into our conversation today, maybe you can tell our listeners, our viewers, there are people who are seeing you for the first time. They don't know who is Lydiah. So maybe you can tell them, who is Lydiah?
Well, I'll start by saying who Lydiah, what really makes Lydiah. Lydiah is a mother. She's a sister. Yeah, and she's a gospel recording artist.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm privileged to have recorded some few gospel songs, and by the grace of God, we look forward to continue with the ministry.
Okay.
Yeah, that is what it is.
Amen. That's very nice. Actually, I've listened to 1 or 2 of your gospel songs, and I'm really blessed. I've really been blessed by them. You are doing a good job on YouTube. Kindly, dear ones, don't forget to go and subscribe. What do you call yourself on your YouTube channel?
I'm Lydiah Bwibo.
Okay.
On Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, everywhere. On YouTube too.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Don't forget to subscribe kindly. So today we are here to talk about depression. There was a time that I was having a discussion with you, and you told me that you have been through depression, And maybe we can start by you telling our viewers or our listeners, like, what is depression according to your own terms, according to how you can describe it best through what you have been through. And then you can also tell us, like, how did you first discover that you were going through depression?
Well, what depression is, I'll start with what depression is. Depression is a mood disorder. Yeah, characterized by lack of enough sleep, lack of appetite. Yeah, going through the modes of highs and lows, and the lack of concentration and things like this. So, and how I first discovered that I had depression. Yeah, it's an interesting journey. It has been an interesting and funny one for me, because when I first discovered, actually it's not me who discovered that I had depression. It's the people who are around me. That is after I found myself using antidepressants for some time and going through the withdrawal symptoms of using the antidepressants. So when I first discovered, what I really felt first was I was not feeling well. I had an ulcer. So when I found out that I have an ulcer, then I got scared that how can I get an ulcer again after I had overcome it 10 years ago. So I felt scared, and I felt like, oh, who am I going to leave my child with? And I'm going to die with these ulcers when I'm young, because sometimes through the things we read in the internet, so they kind of get us scared when we start experiencing those excessive anxiety in our body. So I got scared, and I sought for medication. So I went to the hospital and I was given some medication for ulcers, and in the process I was also using some medication like aloe vera and mixing with fruits like melon. So at some point I went through insomnia. I lacked sleep for like 5 days. So, and as I was going through the medication, how did I lack the sleep? I was sleeping at night, and then I encountered those severe palpitations. I felt like my heart was
Racing.
My heart was really racing, and it was like it was getting out of it was getting out of me. So so I didn't know what I was feeling that night. So I began making calls. I called one of my spiritual leaders and told him how I was feeling, and he assisted me in prayers that night. It was around 3 a.m. at night. So then I sorted medical help. So I called one of the doctors that I knew, and I told them that I'm feeling this and this and this. I've not been able to sleep for this number of days because this is how I've been feeling. And then he prescribed some of the medications, and I went to look for the medication here in town. So when I looked for the medication, I began a journey that I felt that I was healing. So when I used the medication, I was able to sleep well, relaxed. That time I was off job, so I had resigned from the work that I was doing because of how I was feeling, because I couldn't really tell how I was feeling. It was a bit of a scary symptoms and weird, because it was something new. I didn't really expect, and I couldn't tell how I was feeling at the moment. So after using the medication, I felt like I'm okay until the 14th day, because there were 14 days medication. So until the 14th day, when I had finished the medication, so I had started experiencing some withdrawal symptoms from using the medication. So when I was experiencing the withdrawal symptoms, that is when my brother told me that you've just been using antidepressants, and it scared me. That I was using antidepressant. Then I recalled the statement that the doctor told me when I told him that I'm using these ulcer medications and I'm not still feeling well. I'm experiencing palpitations and this and this. Then he told me that the issue could be the mind, not the body. So that is when he prescribed the medication. That is when it hit me that I had depression actually. So it's
actually other people who discovered that you had depression first, before you actually discovered it. So maybe if I can take you back a little bit, because most people usually say that, it is usually scientifically proven that depression most of the time comes from certain factors. Maybe it can be our background, or maybe past traumas that you've been through that have caused that depression. So on your case, maybe you can tell our viewers and our listeners out here, like, how was your background like? What do you think are some of the factors that could have contributed to that? How was your childhood, or maybe what were you going through? Because did it just happen one night that you wake up and you find yourself into depression?
Okay, it's not something that happens just overnight that you just wake up and find yourself in depression. It is a journey.
Yes.
And what I can start by saying is that my childhood also in one way contributed to the depression that I experienced, because during my childhood life, whereby we've been living with house helps, and we find that we're living with uncles and a lot of people. We were living with a lot of people in our family, and some of them, as a young girl, and you are the firstborn then, and you're starting to grow up. So you find that also those people want to take advantage of you sexually.
Okay.
So you find that those things, they torture your mind, and how you as you grow up, you find that they affect you in one way or another.
Okay.
So that is one of the things that also affected my depression, my depressed state in one way or another. Then it happened at some point whereby I was letting go of a relationship.
Okay.
Yeah, a relationship that I had believed in so much, and I had hoped that it was leading
going to work.
It was leading to marriage. So that is the point that I had made up my mind and said that this one is not working, and I think I need to focus on something else. So that is when it all began. And then, as being a single mother with a child, so also trying to navigate through the things of life and how you're going to bring her up, and you, at the moment, you don't have employment, so it was a bit challenging at the moment. And then had lost my mom some years ago, so being the firstborn girl in our family, so I took up the responsibility immediately to take care of my young ones. So I didn't go through the process of mourning. So those are some of the things that I have encountered in life, and I felt that they could have led to my state of being depressed in one way or another. Yeah.
So there are things that had occurred like previously, how many years ago, before you now find yourself into the depression state?
Like, since I lost my mom, it was like 6 years since I lost my mom when I encountered the depression, and it was 2 years from when I gave birth.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you think maybe postmortem depression could have been one of the causes of the depression now that you are just from delivering a baby?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, it could have come a bit later, because the time that I gave birth, I was also busy with some other things, and that's when I can say that I was not distracted. Sometimes, so the time that I was trying to settle down and feeling relaxed, let me say, like being idle, that is when it gave room for the disease to kick in, because I was not really involved in a lot of things as I was in the past.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Lydia, you've mentioned about sexual harassment. So with your permission, if you can allow me, please tell us more about it, because it's one of the major causes of depression out here, and most people don't usually talk about it. And you find that most of this sexual harassment, maybe there are things that have happened 10 years, 5 years, many years ago, but they catch up with you in the years if you don't speak them out. So in your case, like, how do you think that sexual harassment led to you being depressed?
Okay, first I'll start by saying, as a parent, the kind of people we allow in our child's life matters. So, like for my case, I was young, and my parents used to allow a lot of people to come and live with us, to be head house help. So you find that you're living with house helps, they want to take advantage of you, like use phones. These are people who are struggling maybe with some sexual things. So they want to take a spoon and maybe insert it in you, and maybe you are living with your uncles, they want to take advantage of you sexually. So you find these things, they cause trauma in a child's life. And this is something maybe before they speak, maybe a child wouldn't speak about it. Because of me, I've never spoken about it to my parents, but it has been inside until I went for therapy, and actually it came to a point that I found myself opening about it. Then who knows about it? Then with no one. But the trauma has lived inside you. You have never overcome it. You've never shared it with anyone. So you find that it's one of the triggers that causes depression.
So you were sexually harassed and you never shared it with your parents or anyone for years, and you never sought any kind of medical help after that?
No.
Maybe no one was aware completely?
No.
How long did it
occur? Okay, they used to be different. depending with the house help that we used to have, like I've encountered it severally with different house helps, but it used to be something that just happens and then they let go of it, or you learn to fight for yourself, to defend yourself out of the situation. Yeah.
And apart from the house helps, did it maybe occur with some close relatives, friends, family friends maybe?
I've ever lived with an uncle who wanted to take advantage of me sexually because I started becoming a beautiful girl with blossoming years. So they see that you're becoming a beautiful woman, then they want to take advantage of you sexually. But also, at some point I grew up and planned to defend myself out of the situation.
All this time you are saying that no one in your family noticed?
One day we had another house help. My dad used to come home, most of the time he used to come home at 11 at night when my mom was already tired. She has closed the shop, she has gone to sleep. So one day, this house help sent me to see her boyfriend. And then this boyfriend wanted to sleep with me. Then I was coming back home at 11, and then my dad was coming back from work. So he used to come back at 11. So as he was coming back, so he saw me coming back at that time. So what he did, he beat all of us. So you see me, as a child, I used to be scared. So that's why most of the time I used to keep the things to myself, because all of us were beaten and then the house help got the job and left. Because he didn't listen to the side of the story or want to know what was happening. He just saw this is wrong, and all of us.
And I've heard that at times the family background that will come in and sometimes contributes a lot. Let's say, for example, if you live in a family setup whereby you have harsh parents who cannot even be close to you, parents who cannot you cannot open up easily to them and share issues. Most people have a tendency of being depressed if they come from such kind of backgrounds. Do you think maybe your background was one of that kind? Maybe your parents, were they kind of harsh to the extent that you couldn't speak out and talk to them, they were not close to you?
Yes, I can say yes, but also one thing that I've noticed about myself, as I was growing through, I realized that I was in my healing journey of overcoming the trauma, because I used to, how do you call this? Journal. I used to journal. So how I feel, all these things make me feel. I used to journal, and they have been helping me in the healing journey. So I realized I've been in a healing journey all along the way.
Okay.
Yeah, so healing is also possible.
Yeah. So now maybe if I can ask you, you say that it is your brother who actually told you that you are taking antidepressants. So by that time you were not aware if you are taking antidepressants. In your case, do you feel maybe at some point people misjudged you, misunderstood you before you finally discover that you have depression?
Okay, before I got support from the people around me, it really took time, because at some point, what really scared me and caused me to worry a lot when I was in the state is I'm depressed, I'm in this situation, I'm not feeling okay, I'm not able to tell how I feel, but then you find that the people around you, then they're telling you the story of people who have lost it in depression. Then it really makes you feel weird and feel like, okay, I'm also losing myself in this, because I'm not able to overcome. I'm not in a situation where I can tell how I feel, but you are telling me of as someone who has succumbed through depression. So it's really at some point not okay, and at some point also people feeling like, Lydia, you're joking. A lot of people are
Don't
living.
believe.
Actually, some point someone told me that, Lydia, people are living with depression. You are joking here.
Do you think people believe that you have depression? Because in the African setup or in the African context, most people don't actually believe in mental disorders. Some of them think they're just hallucinations, or what can I call them, hysterias. Do you think at some point you are mistaken to having hallucinations or just hysterias, and maybe you are overreacting? Do you think at some point people put you in such a situation?
Yeah, that one I can say yes, because of how sometimes people used to behave around me, or the ones that they could tell me in the process. And you are going through a series of something, and then they tell you words that they end up to hurt you. So it's like they've misunderstood you. Feel like, these people can at least do better with how they are handling a person with depression.
Yes. what were some of the symptoms that you experienced, and what were some of the lowest moments that you had? Maybe did you ever find yourself in a time whereby you feel like you want even to take your own life?
I can say yes, but being a person that is deeply rooted in faith, that is what has helped me, because at some point I felt like, no, this one is not working. I feel like also dying and everything ends from this point. But then when you have a child, you're looking up to the child, then at least it gives you hope. But it being a series of on and off, and it being a series of having relapse, having hallucinations, not understanding how you feel sometimes, being confused in the process. So you feel like you don't understand how you're feeling, and you feel like it's all tiresome to heal it. So feeling that it's all tiresome to heal it sometimes made me feel like committing suicide at some point, so that I end it. So it comes about with the condition, not because you want it, but you find that it comes about with the condition. Yeah.
So when did you realize that you now need help? Or when did you feel like this is the right time, I need to speak up, I need to find a solution to this? If be it maybe a medical solution, therapy, or let's say, for example, seeking religious help from friends, families, and all that. When did you reach at that point that you say that no, enough is enough, I need to seek help?
Okay, before I first reached at that point of seeking help alone, I can say I'm the loudest person in the room.
Most musicians
in our family, I'm the loudest person. Because when I encountered depression, everyone in our family knew about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because nilikuwa nikam to actually at some point, let me say this, my dad could look at me with the confusion, and then he went about and cried to God that night. And then he said that, oh God, this is he saw a certain mad person making noise at night on the road. Then, oh God, this is the person that you also given me in my family, because of how I had turned into a girl that I've taken to school. She has studied, she has done a degree, she has turned into this. No employment, she's talking randomly, not keeping quiet, being confused, she doesn't understand who she is and everything. So by that,
sorry to interrupt you. There were times that you will find yourself acting like maybe an insane person.
Yeah. And I could talk non-stop. I could talk non-stop. Things are just coming in your mind, and then you're listening to the voices in your head, and you're just speaking randomly like a mad person. You don't have control. You don't have like, I should say this or I should not say this. You're just saying everything, even the things that you don't understand about, even the things that you shouldn't speak about. So you're just saying them. Yeah.
Okay.
So it really hurted him to see me in that condition. And so that is when he understood it's serious. And someone advised him that, okay, for that condition that your child is in, can you try taking her to Bagadi hospital?
Okay.
Yeah, that is when now my stepmom took me to Pagadi hospital to start the counseling session. We started with the counseling session. Then at some point I felt like I'm not progressing well. Let's see if we can. I've handled medication at some point.
Okay.
Let's see if we can do medication. That's when I talked to my counselor and then told her that I need to handle it also with medication because of how I'm feeling, and there is no progress, because when I sit alone, I can see that you're just conversing. And you're not able to understand yourself. You're doing crazy things. Sometimes even you don't want to see anybody, but you know you're not okay, and you have a child to take care of. And you just feel like just waking up and taking a walk randomly.
How did that affect your ability to parent properly? And also, how do you think it affected your career? You said that you've been to the university, so maybe at that point you were looking for a job, or maybe you were employed. So how did it affect your career and your parenting abilities?
So for parenting, I thank God that I had people around me. What most people don't know is that one day, when it was all starting up, actually I was seated with my child alone in the house. Everyone had left at home, because when it started, I left my employment. That is the first thing that I did, because I felt that I'm not feeling well, and the job demanded my attention to be there, and I couldn't be there because I was not feeling well at that present moment. So I left my job. So as I was at home with my child, so I'm busy listening to the voices in my head. So They are guiding you, do this with the child, do this with the child, do this with the
What were
child.
they saying? What were the voices saying?
If you just find that you're doing funny things around. So I found myself doing funny things when I'm with the child at home, and then my dad came around, and then I started sharing. So I shared with him the things that I was doing, and he was like, "No, you are not okay. You can't do things like this when you have a child around, and the child is seeing that you're not okay." So they started to help me to seek medication. That is the medication that I was taking at Coptic Hospital.
Okay.
So they took me at Coptic. Then that is the first time I had taken myself there. So they explained to the doctor the things that I was explaining to him that I was doing at home.
Okay. So maybe if you can tell us some of the things, maybe if it's okay with you.
If they told you like sit down and do this with the child. At some point I had taken a knife and I wanted to kill myself because the voices were trying to control me. Take this child out of your life. So I couldn't because of the mother. I felt like it's better I do this to myself than take away the child. So actually I felt really hurt in the process, but since I was alone in the house, and I thank God that I had still the ability of detecting between the right and wrong.
Right and wrong.
Yeah. But the voices were coming, trying to overpower you because at some point, instead of taking the knife to stab the child, I found that I'm taking the knife, it's better I stab myself. And then when my brother came, and then I hid the knife, and then he found that I had removed a lot of things, my clothes from where I had kept them and kept them in the sitting room, like I want to run away from home. So those are some of the things that I was going through in the moment. I was like a crazy person, completely crazy. Yeah. So
okay. And now that you have already resulted into seeking help and all that, how was the therapy for you? How were the medicines? Do you think they helped you at some point?
I can say yes, they helped me, but there was that fear of using the medication because okay, people overcome it without medication. Well, why not me?
Yeah.
Well, why not me? I feel like I need to overcome it without medication. So there is that fight inside of you because also people hearing that Lydia is using antidepressants, those medications are not good for you. But when you think of the journey that you are going through, they make you just, I need to get better for the sake of this child. But also thinking of how the medication, they have side effects, so adding weight and everything. So there's a point where I became big. So with the medication, so I can say they have been helpful. Those symptoms and the voices disappeared, and I was able to apply for positions.
Okay.
But then when I was getting better, the stubborn side of me was withdraw from the medication because I feel now I'm okay without consulting my physician. So as I was doing that, then I get a relapse. That is when there's a question that you asked about career.
Career.
I was applying for jobs. At some point I was getting them. I can say I was getting them. My door had opened. So as I was getting them, then I get a relapse. So the condition has come back. And mine, I can say, it was like the village people are following you. It was a story.
Your village people are wherever you are going. They're just there with you.
I get this job, then I purpose inside me, I want to go for this job. But then I get a relapse. So the voices, they overpower you, they tell you don't do this and this and this and this. The other day I went for an interview and it was my turn. I just walked in and said, no, I'm not going to do this. It was for a church.
After you've already arrived?
Yeah, after I had already arrived.
And what did the panel say? The interviewing panel?
No, I just said, I'm sorry, I can't do this. Then they said it's okay, then I walked out. Then they went and asked me that what is the problem with the child. That is when I think he's the one who explained.
Okay.
She has been going through a series of this and this. So that is how it happened. So and then they told him that we are planning to give your child this job, and then she just drops off from the interview. But I decided to let go. Then there is another time I also got another job in Naivasha. Then as I was going, then I got another relapse. So it was a series of relapse. So I went to the child. I was planning to relocate and stay there. Then I couldn't manage, then I came back at night. So it was like a journey of going and coming back immediately. You've done nothing at the end of the day, so you're wasting money. So it was just a wasteful process along the way. So people were seeing the wastefulness of it, but not the other side of me not being okay.
Yeah, true.
But from then, that is when I started medication in Bagadi and the counseling session, and they really helped. So I was told I have to be in medication for a long time. Yeah, because I was on and off taking the medication and dropping also in the process. So as they told me, I'm going to take them for a long time. So to me, my long term was 1 year and above. So I took the medication 1 year and 6 months. So that was long term. So
yeah, it is.
So after 1 year and 6 months, then I withdrew. Then after 6 months of being off medication, then I encountered another relapse. Yeah, but then I had gotten a job and settled in it. And then as I had encountered the relapse, so it was kind of giving me those symptoms. You get hallucinations, those convulsions and everything. So they're kind of like leading you to the direction of not working. So I realized the symptoms earlier and I shared with a friend. And the friend, that day I had taken a leave from job. So as I shared with a friend, she actually came back home and took me to hospital and told me that this time you have to take medication until the doctor tells you to stop.
You've talked about friends. Maybe if you can ask you, did you at one point maybe face stigma from friends as well? Maybe the colleagues that you are working with. Did you at some point feel as if you're being misunderstood by your friends?
With the colleagues I'm working with, not everyone knew about it. I just had a few people in my circle whom I trusted and shared with. That's those who could help. So a few people that I shared with, some could not understand the journey. Some saw that it's like I'm joking with life, I'm not serious with life. Yeah, but as it was stubborn, I also needed help. And the people that I share with, I'm grateful that they understood and were willing to help me come out of the situation.
And apart from medication maybe and therapy sessions, were there any other things that also contributed to helping you heal faster?
Yes, I can say a lot of things because everything to me has been like therapy. I wake up and say prayer. Prayer is therapy number one. So I made my own list. Prayer is therapy, my number one therapy. Going to see a counselor, that is therapy number two. Going to the gym, therapy number three. Doing the things that I love, singing and everything, that is therapy number four. I created a list of the things that I love to do and things that I want to do that will help me overcome the situation. So those are the things that help me recover. But doing the things that you love actually helps you recover fast and get out of the situation.
So maybe as we are almost coming to an end of our conversation today, what can you tell a viewer or a listener out here who is also facing the same problem? How should they approach it? How should they deal with it? What should they do?
Okay, number one, what I can say is seek for the few trusted people who can be able to understand you. Don't walk the journey alone. And it needs help, so seek for the few people who can be able to trust you. And seek for positive vibes. Like I've told you that I was told like the stories of those ones who have succumbed through depression. So they make you feel like you are going backwards, another step backwards, because when you have anxiety, it all scares you. So you find that everything around you is becoming scary. So it's not helping you to recover. So seek for positive vibes and be around positive people who can help you recover. And also seek for help. Don't struggle with it alone. Seek for help whenever necessary. I talk to a lot of people who have been through it and they have guided me on how they overcame it. And I also use some of those ways to also help me get out of my situation.
Okay, so Lydia, there's something that I've remembered before we come to the end of this session, and I think I really have to ask it. Do you think that the symptoms of depression vary from one person to another? Like, do people exhibit different types of symptoms, or they just the same to each and every person?
The symptoms vary because the way depression is to me is not the same way depression can be to you. That's why even in therapy, I told that I cannot be able to use someone else treatment plan. The kind of the treatment plan is different depending on how a person is feeling, because there is severity of the illness. Depending on how severe the illness is, that is how you will be treated. So it is different depending on the severity of it.
What are those symptoms? Maybe if you can mention them specifically, because I've heard most people, the most severe symptom is someone trying to take their life. So maybe you can tell us some of the symptoms in details now.
So, okay, first I'll start by saying that, okay, anxiety and depression, they come one in one hand in hand. So you find that most of the time they occur at the same time. Okay, they occur to a person. So you find that you have symptoms of anxiety and you have symptoms of depression. So for symptoms of depression, they are mostly triggered with moods. There is the feeling of sadness or loss of interest, or feeling of hopelessness, or you feel guilty, or feel like you are dying, or feeling of death, or suicide. Sometimes you can be feeling like you need to commit suicide, but to some, it's feeling like I'm dying. So it depends with that. So for anxiety, you have like you have excess worry, you have trembling and excess sweating. Like you're sweating at night. So you have things like those. So.
And if someone is at a point whereby they want to commit suicide, like what really happens? Like in your case, you've told me that there was a time that you felt like you wanted to commit suicide. What happened that you are not able to commit it?
Okay, what happened that I was not able to commit it? First, I'll say is the state of mind. What do I believe in as a person? How rooted am I? Because it's something that goes with emotions. Sometimes you feel all over the place. You are all over the room. Sometimes you feel that you are low. Sometimes you feel kuna zile emotions zimepanda, nisifeel kufanya kitu fulani, nisifeel kufanya kitu fulani. Zinaenda hivyo, but depending on how rooted you are. Like for me, I'm a person of faith. I believe committing suicide or killing yourself is wrong. It wouldn't bring honor even to God. So I'm grounded with faith. So you find that you speak to yourself. So what you speak to yourself is what matures and what goes in you. So as you speak to yourself, and you are able to come out of the situation.
And for that person who does not believe in any faith, and they are at that moment where they want to commit suicide, and maybe they don't end up doing it, like, what do you think usually happens behind the scenes until they reach a point whereby they just decide not to do it, yet they don't have any faith values in them?
Okay, what I can say is the state of mind, or how you, it's like the enemy wants to attack you, so how do you attack back? The enemy is ready to attack you. Kisoma na kipanda kumaliza, so how do you handle it back? Because in here what I feel unakufa, but there is nothing like that. It's just a scare. That's also a sign of anxiety. So
So what you're saying
you have no control over it, but you can handle how you handle the situation, what you do over the situation.
So what you're saying basically is most of those who succumb and end up committing suicide, they usually don't have self-control over that feeling or that anxiety voice that you hear, do this or commit suicide, kill yourself, blah blah blah, and so on.
What I can say is someone who's struggling with low self-esteem.
Okay. Low self-esteem in what terms? Maybe if you can elaborate.
Ujiamini, you see yourself like you are not worthy, you are useless, hauna maana.
So in short, when you find yourself at that moment whereby you want to commit suicide and you have low self-esteem issues, how do you handle it?
Because I can say, before if you commit suicide, that is normally like the, how can I say it, like the most severe symptom of depression. You feel like committing suicide, starting to see death thoughts coming. Because hiyo ni point yenye maybe umekula mtu sana, because before you pick up, you've encountered other symptoms that you're battling with. So before you pick up, umekula pia sana nikakava and really tell I'm struggling with something.
Do you maybe at any point feel like maybe at that moment you are so low, you're so depressed, and maybe you want to talk or to reach out to someone at that moment, and then you reach out to them and they are not able to respond, how do you handle such a moment for a depressed person?
Okay, for a depressed person, so it depends on the person's self-esteem. Kama self-esteem yako ni strong, you can handle something like that. But mtu ako busy maybe, and handle vitu zako za kila siku, atarudi and call sometime after a time, ni sawa, then you can handle it okay. Lakini kama ndio unafeel busy struggling with feels zile self-esteem, unaona yenyewe sina maana, no one is seeing me useful, I'm unworthy and such like things. So you find that it's easy to succumb. Yeah.
So what you're saying is most people who find themselves succumbing, the people who are struggling to accept something, maybe like if maybe they've reached out to someone and they are seeking their assistance, and then they are not able to get that assistance that they are seeking, actually they end up committing suicide, because we've seen so many cases whereby someone writes you a message, or someone had just called you like 2 days ago or 1 day ago, and maybe you didn't pick the call, you are busy, and you say that I return this phone call after some few hours or when I'm settled. But then you find that before you are even able to return the phone call, you get another phone call telling you that the person is no more, or the person is gone. So does it mean that these people don't have control over their emotions, or what should their family members, relatives do in such a scenario?
Okay, for a family member, if you realize you have a person like that, you search for help. You can seek for therapy, or let this person go through a mental health check, so that they can be assisted. Because there's a person who maybe I share something that was shared with me is like, who's Gaudencia? After someone has not picked your call. You see, your friend calls someone and someone has not picked your call. So who do you remain to be?
Yeah.
Do you feel irrelevant and worthy? Like I should just end it all and everything. This person does not care about me. Or is a person that knows that this person is busy, this person will call me later. So this is what determines who we are, who we choose to be like, who's Gaudencia outside the work that I'm doing, or who's Gaudencia outside this team that can make me kill myself or make me see myself as unworthy.
Yes.
Yeah. So that is also one of the things that matters.
Okay. I get you. Wow, such an encouraging story, Lydia. And it's also a good story for our viewer, our listener out here, who is also going through a depression, or maybe you're also going through anxiety as well. I want you to know that you are not alone. This is a journey that if you have any close friends, or if you don't have any friends, seek for professional help, people who can surround you with positive vibes, people who can understand, people who you can talk to. Do not be afraid to share out your issue with other people, because we usually say, the Englishman says that a problem shared is a problem half solved. So don't die with your issue alone. Seek help, seek assistance, and I know through those help that you are getting, you'll be able to get better and improve, and even at some point you'll also even be able to get completely healed. So maybe Lydia, at this point that you are in, can you say that you are completely healed? Can you say that you are now doing okay?
At this point that I'm in, I can say that I'm doing well.
Yes.
Because of the things that I've been experiencing. I have that balance in my life, and I have that control of my own life at the moment. With the things that I'm doing, I can be able to work well without distraction, without listening to the voices. They are no longer there. And I can be able to interact with others well.
Yes.
So I can say that I'm in that point that from the last test that I did, it said that I didn't have depression, but still I have to adhere to therapy.
Okay.
The doctor says that you are really okay.
Yeah.
How to go. Yeah, or you are on drug holiday or something like so. But
yes,
I can say I'm doing well, and God is helping me through. Yeah.
Amen. At the end of the day, you know, if you trust in God, God will never put you to shame. The Bible says so, that anyone who trusts in God will not be put to shame. So I know that maybe it might be a difficult moment for you, you are facing out here, but put your trust in God, and God will not put you to shame, because as we have heard from our friend here, our sister Lydia, she has told us that her faith at some point helped her, because if it were not for God, maybe she would not have made it to come out alive. but because she put her faith in God and trust in God, God helped her through it. So put your trust in God as well as you seek that professional help, and as you also involve your friends and any other person that can take you through the journey. And I believe that at the end of the day, it shall be well with you. Thank you so much for listening. And Lydia, before we close the session, I started by telling my viewers that you are a gospel music minister. Maybe you can share with them now your platform. Maybe you had already shared, I know, and you can still remind them once again where they can find your music and all that and support you as well.
Thank you so much, Gaudencia, again. Yeah, you can find my music in YouTube. Yeah, I'm called Lydiah Bwibo in all platforms, in Facebook, in LinkedIn, in Instagram, in YouTube. Yeah, everywhere. I'm Lydiah Bwibo. Yeah, please follow me and subscribe to my music channel. Thank you.
Amen. Until next time, see you again. I'm Gaudencia Maghanga. Kindly don't forget to leave your comment down below about the story that our sister has taken us through, and let us know your views, your opinions, and if maybe you are out there, you also have a story that you want to share and you feel that it can inspire people, a journey that you want to share that you feel that it can be of help to someone, kindly reach out to us. We'll be glad to host you here at the Scale of Truth. Thank you so much.